Hi, Joseph Rittenhouse here. Today I'm going to be walking you through the actual questions from a bus driver interview that I took. I recorded the questions as I was being interviewed, and I wrote them down later. I'm going to share them with you right now. If you watch my other videos, I'm usually talking about financial education, psychology of success, psychology of money. And why would I talk about a bus driver interview? It's because bus driving played a very important role in my journey to financial freedom. I took my money from driving the bus and teaching people how to drive the bus, and I purchased rental real estate on the side while I was working. That's how I was able to retire when I was 36 years old. So watch my other videos to learn more about that. And a little bit of background about myself. My education is in psychology, bachelor's degree in psychology. I also have a flight instructor certificate. I can teach people how to fly small single engine aircraft. And I also have some work experience teaching people English when I was living overseas. And actually, when I was overseas, I came back to America and I thought, I'm not going to be able to get a job because, I could never get a job. I travel a lot. I move around a lot. And usually in most fields, that's not good. But that's one of the good things about transportation agency is it's kind of normal for people to move around a lot and change agencies. They're trying to move up positions. They're trying to move around the country to get promotions and things like that to level up. My driving certifications are I have a Class A commercial driver's license from California. That is to drive the big trucks, the on the road, over the road cargo trucks. I never actually did that as a job. I just went to truck driving school to get the Class A license because I thought I was going to be a truck driver. I thought you'd want to be a truck driver. I thought bus drivers would want to be truck drivers, but come to find out that actually truck drivers want to be bus drivers because truck driver is away from home a lot. They are not with their family. It's a more of a lonesome job. Bus driving, you can be home every night, great benefits. It's better for the family life in general. So I went to truck driving school, and I had applied about a month earlier for a bus driving in our a nearby city to where I live, and they called me back in the middle of my truck driver training. I did get my Class A license, and I did say, hey, sure, I'll try the bus driving thing. Before you pay any money to go to a truck driving school or get a bus driver license, don't apply for the bus driving job, because I later found out that they will pay for your training. It's paid training. You will walk away from your training after having been paid with a Class B license and a P endorsement. The P endorsement means that you're able to work with customers. You understand some of the issues and difficulties that you might face if you have customers on your vehicle. My bus driving experience is 9 months. I was a coach operator for 9 months, and then I was promoted there was an opening to be an instructor. And based on my past experience of flight instructing and teaching and psychology, I thought that's perfect. I get to be playing with the buses. I love driving. I love transportation. And I also get to take my past experience and put it all together. So for me, training was the best choice. And it's the best of both worlds. Let's get into these questions from this actual interview that I took. They're going to be heavy. You might get some questions that you're going to answer them in a way you wouldn't expect. For example, letting the bus, say for example, burn or be destroyed is not the most important thing to protect. It's not the bus. What they want to hear from you in these interviews is that people, their safety is the most important. So people's safety is number one. Always protect people first, and then protect property second. They're also looking for the attitude that you don't want to take all issues into your own hands, that you can manage yourself and you can manage the bus on your own, but that you will call for help whenever you can, because you're already a bus driver. You already have a lot of work to do, a lot of responsibility. So they want to look for someone who can ask for help when it's needed. They can make the best choice in the situation until a supervisor can arrive or some other sort of help can arrive to deal with the situation. The first question is work experience with customer service. They want to know if you have any work experience with customer service. This is going to be a very big customer service type job. Like you're meeting hundreds, maybe even 1,000 people in a day. By the way, if you've never driven a bus before, or even a big vehicle, don't let that stop you from doing this job. They just want to see that you have worked with people, but maybe you didn't work with people a lot, or maybe you only drove an SUV, or maybe you only drove a Honda Civic, you never drove a big vehicle. That doesn't matter. They're just looking that you've possibly worked with people before. Second question is, in a typical day at your last job, how many people did you contact in a day? They're kind of gauging here, have you ever dealt with this many people before? Because you're going to be dealing with a lot of people. They just want to see if you were sitting in an office all day by yourself, or if you've dealt with a lot of people before, because this job might be a shock to you, because you're going to have a lot of people. You're going to have the full range of human ability, disability, the full range of education, the full range of ages, all the way from children up to the elderly customers. It is cold here, that's why I am getting stiff. What kinds of problems were you expected to solve on your own? What they're hinting at here is that they're hoping that you've dealt with some kind of serious situations and you've been able to be calm, cool, and collected when they happen. Because sometimes with the bus, there are accidents. Actually, when I was a bus driver, I had never been in a car accident before. I've never been in a car accident. I've never been in a bus accident either, but later when I was a trainer, I was the closest one next to the bus when it had gotten in an accident. Not my bus, but someone else's bus, and I was asked to be there, and I had never been in an accident before, so it was kind of a shock to me because I didn't know how to deal with the situation. So that's what they're trying to see. Have you ever been in like a situation where you had some big problems to deal with, and how did you deal with them? And they want to see the level of difficulty of the problems that you had to solve. Next question is, what kinds of problems were you expected to bring to a supervisor? What they're looking for here is they want to see that you don't have an attitude of you're going to do it all on your own. They want to look for the attitude of, you know what, I could call a supervisor to help me with this. And that's what they're looking for here, that you're not going to be way out there in the middle of nowhere with your bus and you're like, no, I got this. Because we did have people driving the bus go off on some streets trying to solve a problem, end up in a city. Like, what city are you in? They call in and they've gone off on a wrong road and they should have called earlier to ask for help. So they're looking for an attitude of a person that can ask for help when they need it. Next question, describe a specific situation you dealt with an angry customer. So they're looking for your ability to keep people calm, to help them as much as you can without risking the safety of yourself or the other people on the bus. Then they have some situational questions. They're going to see how you would deal with the situation. The first situational question is, a tired woman with 2 children and drippy ice cream wants to board your bus. What do you do? So generally, open containers of food or eating food on the bus is not allowed. But what they're looking for here is an attitude of, you will inform people of the rules and enforce them up to a point. You're going to inform people, but not always enforce the rules. Because sometimes, in certain situations, it's not worth it. Sometimes enforcing the rule could actually get you hurt. It could cause a fight. It could cause big problems on the bus. So they're looking for the attitude of, you're going to inform people of the rules and you'll enforce it up to a point, but once it crosses a certain line of it's not worth it anymore, you'll say, for example, in the situation, just let the lady on with the ice cream. She didn't know. She's tired. It's the end of the day. She has a lot of kids. You know, now's not the time to create a big scene, a big argument about some ice cream. Second situational question, a passenger has been riding your bus for 15 minutes, but it's the wrong bus. The terminal is up ahead. What do you do? You're going to inform the person that, I'm sorry you did that. Let me see what I can do for you. So you're going to maybe call a dispatcher, a supervisor. You're going to maybe try to contact another bus down the road. again, safety is always first. You're not going to do anything wild. You're not going to try to go off the route and do anything that is not normal protocol. That's what they're looking for here. Sometimes the other customers on the bus can answer the question of sometimes they know the bus routes better than you do as a driver. So they're trying to see that you're going to do the best you can, maybe make a couple phone calls, a couple radio calls, but you're going to stay focused on the safety of the bus, on the customers on the bus. Third situational question is a well-dressed man comes up to you after 30 minutes on the bus and says that you were deliberately driving slow. What would be your response? Well, sometimes things happen. You're not deliberately driving slow. You're maybe being cautious. But apologize. Apologizing doesn't mean that you're wrong or that the person is right because you weren't driving deliberately slow, but you're going to let the gentleman know, I apologize. I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm trying to drive as quickly as I can. And where are you going? Is there any way I can maybe help you get there faster? Maybe check the buses he's going to take. So they're looking for an attitude of, I will help you as much as I can, and I will apologize. Not meaning that I'm wrong, but just I apologize that maybe you're going to be late to your event, and I'll try to get you there as fast as I can safely. Again, safety of the people first, above all else. Fourth situational question and final situational question is a disabled customer is making noises with his mouth. Another customer comes up and asks you to make them stop. Well, you can't treat people differently just because they have something with their body, or they make noises, or maybe they shout things out with their mouth, because some people can't help it. It's the way their body is. So this other customer needs to be informed. You need to let them know that you can't move people just because they're making noise or something like that. So, and this is Americans with Disabilities Act, and your agency can get big time sued if you were to make that customer move just because they're a little different. You can't treat people different just because they act a little different or make some noises or something like that. So let that customer know, I'm sorry, I can't move that customer. Maybe you can sit up here in the front, or I can turn on a fan and make some white noise for you, but that's all you can do. Last three questions. Two of them are like your usual questions you'll get at an interview. What are your strengths and weaknesses? By the way, before you do bus driver training, the two things that you need to, that got the students, let go the most during training was they couldn't back up in a straight line. So if you can't back up in a straight line, get an SUV or something like that and just practice backing up. Do figure eights in a parking lot. Back up and back up all day long, because you don't want to wait until you get into training when it really counts and you have no practice backing up. As soon as you get word that you're going to go into training and you're going to get tested at the end of training to get your license, start practicing backing up. And the second thing is your brake test, your air brake test. There's a couple of them. I think there's 8 of them. And start memorizing them. Do not watch other YouTube videos, because the way your agency teaches you to do the brake test is going to be maybe in a different order than your agency is going to want you to do them. So don't watch those YouTube videos. Just get the book from the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, and memorize the brake test by name and what they're about and what they mean, but don't necessarily memorize the order. So practice backing up and practice those brake tests as soon as you know you're going to go into training, because those are the two things that the students got hung up the most on. Second question that is a traditional interview question is there anything with yourself that you would like to improve or work on? Have some things that you do outside of work, I guess, but sometimes the agencies offer free tuition reimbursement. Not free tuition, but tuition reimbursement. That's a traditional question. What are you going to work on? Final question. Do you have any questions right now about the position of coach operator? That's what they're going to leave you with. Ask away. It's a really interesting industry because some things are not what you would expect. Like, it's okay to say, hey, I'm coming here because you have great benefits. I love the insurance. That's not, normally we say, oh, don't talk about that. Don't say you're just talking about, don't just come talking about the money. But in transportation, that's okay. So my other videos are big on the thinking of money, the thinking of success. And the reason why bus driving is so amazing is because it's a huge opportunity right in front of our faces. Every day we see buses, and people don't realize how great of a job that is. I travel around the world. I go to a lot of countries, and only in America can someone with just a high school diploma go drive a bus, have a great job, flexible schedule, good benefits, start purchasing rental real estate, and then you could become like I'm not a millionaire, but you could become like a millionaire in like a couple of years if you just keep buying property. A lot of bus drivers were also property investors on the side. I have rental properties. I don't need to see it every day. I haven't even seen the house I have in Texas. I haven't even seen it in 2 years. You don't need to. So it's the thinking. Don't get hung up on thinking, I can't do that job. Bus driving, I don't want to do that job. Really check it out. And when you check it out, say for example, you go to the BLS website, Bureau of Labor Statistics, you're going to see that the usual income of a bus driver is like $30,000 a year. It depends. I was from California and the wages were higher. And I'm sure in like New York it's going to be higher. So really check it out. Ask your friends if they're bus drivers. And it's the thinking. Don't get hung up on, I don't want to be a bus driver. If it pays you well and if it works, it works. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it was informative. Let me know if you have any other questions about bus driving or getting a job as a bus driver. And from Monument Valley, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.